Welcome to Universal After Dark, a Universal podcast that's not the same as all the others.
Hello one and all, and welcome to the Dis After Dark, the Universal edition. Yes, that's right, Universal edition. We're hoping to make this a monthly edition for our regular podcasts, as well, you know, you can't find enough to talk about Universal on a weekly basis, so I think monthly will do for now. Anyway, we're coming to you live from the Mouse's Head, where Universal talk is usually forbidden. And I'm not on my own. As always, the rest of the team are here. First up, we have got Mr. Lucas.
Good evening, one and all. We are in the toilets of the Mouse's Head, where that's where all the poo gets talked about. So we're talking about Universal this week.
Whilst graffiti in the cubicles.
Yes, I've brought my drill bit in, and that's all I'm going to say.
We're not the only one sitting in this cubicle. We've also got Mr. Washington.
Hi all. It sounded a bit like a Friends episode in the toilets here. It's not. It's a bit strange.
Splashing around the fountain somewhere.
Yeah.
So, the first item on the list that we were going to discuss this evening, I believe, was Sapphire Falls Resort. We've all done our research, so we all know everything about it, no doubt.
Yeah, I've just got it up now.
Reactive research.
Reactive research.
3 months later, off the press.
Now, I haven't stayed at Cabana Bay yet, but you have, Mr. Lucas. So would you say that you'd be tempted to go over the road and stay at Sapphire Falls when it opens?
If it's up to the same standards as Cabana Bay is, totally, 100%. Cabana Bay, it's arguably the best Universal resort I've stayed in. And I've stayed in the Hard Rock, and I've stayed in one of the other ones, which I can never remember. But they're all a bit tired now, a bit old. Cabana Bay was spacious, fresh, bright. It was absolutely beautiful. So there you go. So if Sapphire Falls is anything like that, it's going to be boss, mate.
Because I love staying at the Hard Rock just because it's right next door to Universal the Studios Park.
Yeah, it's a 2-minute walk. Straight out past your little security man, and you're there right at Universal's gate for the Hard Rock. I can't fault it for that. I can't fault the Hard Rock at all. It's phenomenal.
I do like it. The only thing I don't like about it is the new colour scheme for their rooms. I don't know if you've seen them.
We were there in the summer last year, and I didn't notice.
Well, they used to have sort of like greens and oranges and sort of funky colours. They've gone for this sort of like black and white, grey and red sort of colour scheme. It's a bit weird. But it's only a minor thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even say I noticed, to be honest. But
no.
Cabana Bay, on the other hand, is day glow colours, very 50s prime time almost, and it's, you know, the way it's put out there. Sapphire Falls, I don't really know it. I'm terrible, but I don't know anything about it. No.
There hasn't been a hell of a lot released about it from what I can gather. I walked past the construction site, so I know where it is. It's literally just before Cabana Bay, so it's slightly closer.
Yeah, Caribbean inspired. That's about it, really. Going to be loads of coconuts and fellas selling lilt, boss. Can't wait.
Didn't Cabana Bay have a lazy river as well? Is that true?
I didn't see it, but then I was there for the weekend. So
oh, yeah.
We went on the Thursday and we come home on the Tuesday, so I didn't really... We could have went bowling. We spent some time in the bar on the first night. We ate in the fast food place, and that was about it. The rest of the time was just up and down the corridors, looking for hot chicks.
What about you, Paul? Have you stayed on site at Universal?
I haven't stayed on site at Universal. When we went last year, we had a couple of days at like one of the partner hotels, but we have been looking at the on-site ones for our next stay. But my thing with the new one is that it's more expensive than Cabana Bay, but it still isn't getting the extra the fast express tickets as part of it. So it's either you go Cabana Bay for a cheaper price, or you take the next hotel above the new one and get your express passes. So it's kind of a non-entity to me at the moment until I've actually seen what it looks like, really.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, because with Sapphire Falls, that and the Pacific-themed hotel, the Royal Pacific, those two are going to become moderates, aren't they?
Yeah.
The Royal Pacific, that's the one I stayed in, the other one, and that is not a moderate. I have to say, that was beautiful.
So you think it's deluxe then?
Oh, definitely, without a shadow. It's not up there with Hard Rock. The location-wise, it was a little bit further away. But I think we're in a bit of flux with the express passes. What happens when everyone has express pass?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've waited in very long express queues in the past.
And last summer and last October when I went back, sometimes it was quicker to go in the normal line than it was to go in the express line. So something's got to give.
Yeah. At the moment, it doesn't really make much difference to me because I tend to go out of season with our little one only being 2-3 years old. So we haven't had to worry about holidays at the moment. But obviously, as he gets a bit older, we might have to start thinking in terms of school holidays, and then the express pass might become an option. But at the moment, it isn't really.
Well, I mean, in October, it wasn't necessarily. It was the flagship rides. I know they've only got one or two at Universal. But the flagship rides were really like Transformers. The Express Pass was 5, 6, 7 times as long. There was people we were looking, and we're in the queue, and there was people walking past us and just getting on. It was bizarre. It was bizarre, but it's got to be looked at. And I think I get the without going into too much detail because they shoot you. I get the questionnaire sent through, and there is a bit of change coming. There is rumours about magic bands or some sort of magic band.
Yeah, I've had
style.
a survey today actually.
I've had a survey today as well
about
secret stuff.
Yeah.
Secret squirrel.
But didn't they have like their own version of Magic Band for like 6 weeks about 10 years ago, and then decided not to use it anymore?
Yeah, I think they did, but again, that's only going off what me and Tracy have said on their podcast. I wouldn't know any history about it. For me, they're talking about using mobile phones. Well, a mobile phone has only got a shelf life of 10 hours. You know, if you're in the parks all day, you're taking photographs with it. You're constantly on the Wi-Fi uploading stuff, and you've got your express pass on there. At some point, you won't be able to express pass anymore unless you buy a charger, no doubt, because you can't. They've got all these metal detectors they're putting in on the flagship, the big rides, the dangerous rides. You've got to be carrying around all these battery packs and chargers. It's not practical. Why? You know, I do believe they will have their own version of Magic Bands, and they are a lot more switched on than Disney. I think you're going to be able to buy limited edition ride-specific Magic Bands for the whole of Universal. I can see it coming.
Blimey. Do you think someone at Disney's like, why didn't we think about doing it with the iPhone?
But you can't rely. I love my iPhone. I am Mr. Apple. My 6 Plus will get me 18 hours of charge, usage through a day. But that's just normal usage. As soon as you go into a theme park environment where you're taking photographs every 2 minutes, where you're FaceTiming, back to the UK, or you're uploading your photographs onto Facebook. It can't handle it. It'll just die halfway through the day on you.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I think the system's going to be flawed. You're going to have to. Some of the questionnaires we've had, and I'm just going to talk about it, but do you want to put USB things into lockers? Do you want to put USB chargers into toilets? Do you want to put USB waiting areas where you can sit in the shade and chill out? So you're going to be spending all this money to go into a theme park to then sit and babysit your phone. And Disney are just as guilty. They do it as well.
Disney have got them by the spectacular Tangled toilets.
Yeah, which pooing in a frying pan isn't for me. I've done it before and I won't do it again.
You can't really fling it afterwards, can you, at Disney?
No, you
I've been in there in those toilets where I think someone has flung it against the wall. Dear.
That was me, sorry.
How disappointed would people be when they ruck up at the Magic Kingdom, look up and see, oh look, there's the tower from Tangled, and then you realise it's just a load of toilets.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're already selling packages for Sapphire Falls, and on top of that, they're also selling Halloween Horror Nights packages for Sapphire Falls for people going to stay there from about the middle of July. So they've got a pretty fixed date in the diary for this place to open now. I hope it doesn't end up like Rivers of Light.
To be fair, I've seen a few videos recently, and it doesn't look overly finished at the moment.
They can move extremely fast on Universal. Yeah. They don't seem to be tied to the same regulations that Disney have. And I think Disney impose their own regulations on themselves because Universal seemed to work. I remember being there 3 years ago when Hogsmeade, or whatever it is, no, the other side was getting built where Jaws used to be. The shop, that's the one. The shopping precinct. And we were going round Halloween Horror Nights, and you could still see them working behind the boards. It was all lit up. Work was carrying on all day long. Whereas Disney, they do tend to keep it to a minimum during the daylight hours, don't they?
Well, I mean, that's the ironic thing, is Universal, Disney themselves run their local council, so they can make up all their own planning laws and regulations, yet they take forever to build everything. I mean, look at Avatar. I mean, that's gone on and on.
Yeah, I think Sapphire Falls will be delivered on time. It'll be delivered on budget, and it'll be phenomenal. And we stayed on Cabana Bay in October. We bought our park tickets with express passes built into them. They were from the American market because it was basically 2 days worth of tickets we bought rather than the UK's 14 days. And it wasn't a massive inconvenience. So maybe that's the market they're going for, where people like me who are going to be going in will upgrade. I know the Malibis, and I'm not picking on them, but I know they've done 9 days at Universal in one of their previous holidays. I really do struggle to get past 3 days.
I'll be honest, the last time I went, we bought 2-day tickets and only did a day.
Yeah, I think it becomes very similar very quickly because you're literally just walking around just a circle. So 2 days maximum, 3 days potentially. This water park that's coming with the closure of Wet and Wild and stuff, it is going to become they are billing it as a 3-park resort by the introduction of this water park. I don't know if I'd bother with the water park.
I can't say it's something that attracts me.
No, I mean, if ever I go to a water park, I usually just go to Typhoon Lagoon for the afternoon. I mean, I wouldn't make a special trip for Blizzard Beach or, a whole day somewhere.
No, I struggle to last 5 or 6 hours in them, and then it's very, very, obviously because it's Florida, it's very weather specific. So one year we went into Aquatica, and we were in Aquatica for an hour, and then thunder was rolling in, lightning, and that was the park closed. Yeah. So this isn't being billed as a water park, it's being billed as a theme park. So what
It'll definitely be interesting.
What are they putting in there that they haven't told us about?
The things that I've heard are basically that Disney didn't want to call their two theme parks because they didn't want to confuse people, but they're saying that Universal is basically, it's going to be the same as Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach.
Yeah. Well, it'll be poo then.
It's going to be the world's first water theme park. Wasn't that what they said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does that mean?
Just a play on words, isn't it? Unless it's just going to be a part of a bigger theme park. It might be just a land. And we've just broke the story.
We have. Dun, dun, dun.
First episode on my breaking
Water
news.
World. Yeah, breaking news.
So is the plan with Volcano Bay, they're building that now, and then they'll shut Wet and Wild? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
What's that?
And then everyone moves over from Wet and Wild onto Volcano Bay. Is that right?
Staff, I think some of the staff are going over, aren't they?
Yeah.
Not all of the staff.
Yeah, I think they said that people were gonna need new skills to be able to move over. So I think certain people are going through training and some aren't.
Getting shot.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Wet and Wild?
No.
It's always looked grotty.
Isn't it the oldest water park in the country or something?
It was.
It will be until the end of the year.
Which begs the question what they're going to put on it, I suppose, isn't it?
A car park, innit?
Yeah.
And that'll be an improvement. It just looked like it was horrible. It just looked like concrete, and it looked like it was them slides that when you slide down them, it takes pieces out of your back. That's what it looked like.
Like the in-betweeners.
Yeah.
Especially if you were there, Craig.
Yeah, exactly. Always take a Mars bar and just release it into the pool halfway through as you're swimming. That's one way to clear the pool out.
Right, moving on. The next item on the discussion we're going to talk about is the Hello Kitty store. Yeah, 3 grown men are going to talk about Hello Kitty. Does anyone know what Hello Kitty is? Because I have no idea.
I misread. I thought it was a spelling. I thought it was Hello Shitty. Oh no, it's Kitty. Yeah. No, I've got no interest in it at all. It's a little girl thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Quite sad that they took out that I Love Lucy place. It was
have
a
you
bit of
ever
Hollywood
been in
history.
there?
I had been. Well, in fact, I've been in the one in Hollywood, not in the one in Orlando.
Oh, okay.
Which was very similar, but that went God knows how long ago.
Where was that one then in Hollywood?
That was down where the Universal Experience ended up being.
Oh, okay.
It was down on the lower lot.
Oh, okay.
And then they replaced it with the Experience, which is now gone as well.
Yeah.
And is now a shop.
Yeah. Shops everywhere.
Yeah.
So they've replaced the replacement with a replacement.
Yeah.
Weird.
And that's all in the space of the first time I went was 10 years ago. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the problem is they've got no room for anything, have they? That's why they have to keep building on top of each other over there.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons I actually did put this on here was because for my Halloween Horror Nights site, we're actually working on an article at the moment about what was going to be put into this building, but didn't in the end. So that'll be going up soon. But there was going to be something Halloween Horror Nights related put into this space when it was I Love Lucy, but for various reasons it didn't happen. So.
And what was it going to be? Can you give us a teaser for the article?
I can do, yeah. Basically, they were going to build a museum. So similar to what is in the foyer of the Monsters show, the makeup show. A lot of that stuff was going to be originally put into this space, and all the Lucy stuff was going to get moved out. So we're talking to someone next week who was working on it, so I'll know more then. But I don't know everything at the sec.
And do you think that's been mothballed forever, or do you think it's an ongoing?
Oh, definitely. The bloke who was championing the idea has actually left and gone to Disney. So,
jumped ship when he couldn't get his own way.
Don't know.
That would have been interesting.
Well, yeah, it would have been. I think that would have been a nice idea. But then again, they've got a shop there now, so they're making money out of that space, aren't they?
Yeah.
So,
was it similar to what they put in at Halloween Horror Nights last year? Where they had the shop, but they had a load of the props.
I imagine it probably would have been, from what I've heard already. It was just going to be crammed full of some of their oldest props and some of their more recent ones. And then you could have your photo taken with Jack and stuff like that. But
well, is there not a case, right? You've got the Christmas shop, haven't you, in Universal inside, and then you've got the Christmas shop in Islands of Adventure as well. The Christmas shop in Universal's brand new. It's only been open a few months. And it does a roaring trade, right? Now, is there not a case, since Halloween Horror Nights is such a juggernaut, why haven't they got a Halloween Horror Nights shop?
Well, to be honest with you, Craig, last year, they sold so much merchandise.
Yeah.
I mean, they ran out of everything, eventually, and they had to keep rebuying stuff. So they really sold more than they thought they were going to.
I think they did the year before, because we went just after Halloween in 2014. And there was, like normally you get like a little sale of stuff when the season's over. There was about 3 shirts left, and that was it.
Wow.
I couldn't find anything that I wanted.
But is there not a market for the retro? I mean, I've been to Halloween Horror Nights 23 and bought nothing. And I went to Halloween Horror Nights 25 and bought a lanyard. And because I just didn't want to waste my time shopping, basically. And I only took a carry-on bag over because it was for the weekend. But, I'm going back next summer 2017. If they had a specific Halloween Horror Nights shop, and you've got the fridge magnets, you've got your shot glasses, you've got your t-shirts, I would buy Halloween Horror Nights 23 merchandise because I was there, and the 25. Do you know what I mean? I think it'd be brilliant. And you could have it all. Go on.
I was going to say, when the event finishes, whatever's left over, they put at the front of the park in that discount shop.
Yeah.
And within days, it's gone, literally.
So that to me says they're missing a trick, because I think that would be an annual. Christmas only lasts, in America, 4 months. But it's, we're there in August and we buy $60 worth of decorations. And we bring them back, and our Christmas tree is basically a Disney / Universal tree now, because we've been so many times the last few years. Look at the Christmas shop in downtown in Disney Springs.
Yeah, that's
queuing
up. In trade.
Yeah, and Halloween is basically bigger in America than Christmas. It's like the Beatles were bigger than Jesus.
Well, it's the same at Disneyland Paris. They've got their year-round Christmas shop as well, haven't they? And it always seems to be full as well over there. So I definitely see there's room for a Halloween Horror Night shop, because the stuff's so popular.
But what about a year-round haunt like Hollywood have just put in, or just about to put in?
I'm all for it. I think there's one major thing that I believe Universal is missing a trick on, and that is a haunted house of some sort. Like the Haunted Mansion. there's enough. They've got enough back catalogue. They could have a classic monsters haunted house.
Well, they're launching this new series of films, aren't they?
They are.
Are they doing a reboot?
They're calling it the Universal Monsters Cinematic Universe. I kid you not.
Oh,
yeah. And it's filming here at the moment.
Is it really?
Yeah, Tom Cruise has started filming The Mummy in Oxford.
He's actually doing it then?
Yeah, he's been pictured on set. They're filming it in Oxford at the moment.
Blimey.
Well, my best mate who I went over there with in October, Stuart. Hi, Stuart. I'm waving at you. When we got back, he bought me the Blu-ray box set of the classic Universal Monsters. And I'm sorry to say I've only watched one of them up to now because there's been too much other stuff to watch. But I love the concept of the classic monsters, and I'm really excited. Are these films going to be interlinked? Is it going to be a part of a bigger, like Marvel?
Yeah, Tom Cruise is going to be in all of them. By the sound of it.
Cruise.
Probably jumping off buildings and everything. One.
That's a bad day at the office then, isn't it? That's like Die Hard. Every time he gets in a plane or something, he gets hijacked.
What I've read, basically... Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say, from what I've read, they're basically following the Marvel business plan. They're going to literally create this whole universe, and then they're all going to come together at the end.
Oh, that is going to be stunning. Is Abbott and Costello going to be available?
We'll have to find a new pairing, won't we?
I think they might be Dick. And Dick. But no, as you said about Tom Cruise, I know that they haven't said much, but their mission is to put some really big A-listers into every single film. And then also a lot of the talent that's writing the new films, like for example the new Mummy film, has been written by the people that wrote the scripts to the Hunger Games. So they're going all out with the people they're working with.
Yeah. Well, I bought it last October. I bought the rebooted and failed werewolf film.
Oh yeah,
with Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, and we watched it in the Highlands of Scotland last October in the middle of nowhere in the pitch black, and I thought it was a brilliant film.
Well, the thing is, I like that film, but that's not going to be part of this universe. Yeah, this is not part of this universe, although there will be a Wolfman. But the Dracula film that came out 2 or 3 years ago will be a part of this universe.
Well, it was meant to be, but I've heard tales that it now isn't.
Well, I hope it isn't, because it's not very good.
Yeah, I think Luke
Was it
Evans...
a failed Dracula film?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Luke Evans playing Dracula, and I think he came out and said that he no longer has a contract. I think they got rid of him.
Oh, right. So maybe they changed their mind then.
Yeah. I think I think they were expecting it to do better on DVD and Blu-ray than it did. And I think they ended up going, yeah, we're just going to axe that. It's no longer part of it. We'll get someone else to play Dracula now.
Well, they even had, that year, they had Dracula on both coasts for that movie, for Halloween Horror Nights.
And talking of, as Craig said, Wolfman, the last time I went to Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood, the first maze that you came to was Wolfman, based on that film.
Well, funny you should mention that. A lot of people say to me, what's your favourite Halloween Horror Nights house? And that is definitely one of my favourites from Florida that year.
Yeah. The wife says that's the only one that scared her that year, of the ones that we went in.
Well, just right, time out here, guys. How many Halloween Horror Nights have you two been to between you?
I've done 2 at Hollywood.
Right.
Oh, I've lost count how many I've done.
Have you? Wow.
Let's think. What are we now? 26th year, isn't it?
Yeah.
So late 90s I started going, so...
And
18, 19, something like that.
Joking.
And they all blur into one. They all blur into one.
So, what years did you go, Paul?
must have been either 2005 or 2006, and then 2011 was the last time I went.
Right.
Both Hollywood, you say?
Yeah.
So Chris, you must have seen it grow. Absolutely.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
last year I thought it was bedlam.
I mean, I remember going when the recession hit back in, 06, 07? And I remember going a few evenings, and it felt like I was the only one in the park.
Yeah, the first time I
really
went,
dead.
I had no issues getting. I did all the mazes. I did the Terror Tram at least 3 times, with no pass or anything, just a normal ticket. When we went back in 2011, it was ridiculous. I said I'd never go back without an express pass now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go without an express pass.
I don't see the. I mean, we were walking out last year on the Saturday night. We'd been in the parks from basically rope drop, 8 o'clock in the morning. We'd been back for a little hour's nap, and then we'd got showered and went back out. We were coming out about midnight, so we've literally had, 16 hours in the parks more or less, and they were still allowing people to come in at midnight, and all the maze queues weren't dying off. You think you could get to the end of the night and a few walk-ons at least, but they were all 90 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hour waits. It was.
Well, funny story, Craig. I'm
Go on.
just going through the research at the moment to update for this year the book, and I came across some terms and conditions that Universal had written in the last couple of years to do with express passes for Halloween Horror Nights, and they said in this text that they believed that the average wait time for an express pass for a house is half of what the standby line time is. Now, a lot of people, if you buy an express pass, you think you're just going to walk on that house pretty much straight away. But if you've got a 3 hour wait, that means in theory, Universal are expecting you to wait for an hour and a half in the express line. I mean, that's ridiculous.
This is where they start selling the Express.
Well, the Express is the RIP tour, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
exactly,
like the Malibus did last year.
And they had a whale of a time doing that. We had the Express, and with a little bit of planning, we waited by The Simpsons, by E.T., and we were able to blitz the first 5 houses without using our express passes. I can't remember them in order, but if I had the map, I'd obviously know. But
5 that are in that corner anyway.
Yeah, we what was the first one? The Walking Dead. Then we walked out and we did. I can't remember. The one that should have been Scream. That was
The Purge.
The Purge.
Yeah, and then I think it was Insidious. Then you walked around and got the other 2 next to each other. I can't remember. I'd have to look at the map. But we blitzed it before it got, and people don't plan. We only plan because we're nerds and we're geeks and we do our own work. But if you're paying top dollar and you don't go with an express pass, then you expect to maybe 2 houses, 3 if you're lucky. So.
Because it goes back to like what we were saying earlier with the attractions. If you're staying at the high-end hotels, I always find, if I stayed at Hard Rock and then I spend time in the park during the day, I really don't want to wait an hour for Spider-Man, the express queue. I just, ugh.
And this is what I mean. When we went in November. I walked straight into Spider-Man, and that's why I was like, I really don't see it this time using an express pass for a normal day.
But I have waited in express line for ages for Spider-Man. That was one I remember last time. It seemed like the express line was longer than the standby.
To be fair, I would probably agree with saying that. I'm sure the express line was longer than the line I was in.
Yeah.
There was more people going in the express entrance than there was in the normal one.
They made it slightly difficult, didn't they? Because you have to go to a certain machine now and put your room key in to get the express pass now, and then it prints your photo and everything on it. Yeah,
I think all that'll go when you do finally upgrade it. I do, because you've got your paper ticket and you've got your paper express pass or card, and then you're going on the water rides, or even putting them in your lanyard inside your top, your sweat gets into them and they start to stick and the barcode's not readable. I definitely think they're going to be coming out with something, and I think it will be some sort of magic band, but it won't be called a magic band, and you'll be able to buy an ET one or a Back to the Future one, and that's how you collect them all then. Because all the nerds, all the completists will want all the rides, all the historic rides, and all the limited edition ones. Then they'll want the Halloween Horror Night ones. You know, we were watching a Dis Unplugged the other day, and Pete Werner has got 32 magic bands.
Wow.
You say exactly as I've seen someone post on Facebook today that they're missing 2 of the limited magic bands, and that's it. They've bought all the rest of the limited ones.
Oh, God.
Well,
so all the Star Wars ones, all the Frozen ones.
Yeah. Now, if you're paying $16 to $18, $20, you will pay it, because that's what people do. You know, it'll just become the pins. It'll become the Vinylmation. It'll be called magic. They won't be called magic bands. It'll be
there'll be something cinema related, won't there? I bet you.
The magic strap on.
A Cinemagic band or something.
Yeah, I like my idea better. The cinema.
But is it true as well that you mentioned Back to the Future there? They've just shut the only existing
I think
Back
it's
to the Future
shutting
ride
at the end of next month.
Yeah, it's counting down the days, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, now, if someone said to me, you can have Back to the Future or Simpsons, the ride, I think I would choose Back to the Future.
Yeah,
and if someone said to me, do you want Gringotts or Jaws, I'd definitely choose bloody Jaws. What do you think?
Yeah, if it was a toss-up between heads and tails, for what you've just said there, Back to the Future over Simpsons. Although I do think Simpsons could exist in a different format, in a different ride, you know. And the same with Jaws. I'd have Jaws over Gringotts. Although Gringotts is brilliant, and every time I ride Gringotts, I enjoy it more. So, but did they have to sacrifice Jaws for Gringotts? That's debatable, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sure they could have squeezed it in there somewhere next to it.
It does make you sad now, you know, they've got all that new land.
Yeah.
Where they could have put Diagon Alley rather than in the main park and taken out some of the classic rides.
I used to love riding Jaws at Halloween Horror Nights, because in the dark, they used to call it the Shark in the Dark, but that ride was brilliant in the dark.
It's a shame, such a shame.
That's why they open Jurassic Park at night at Hollywood, and that's beautiful as well.
Yeah.
I think they've got to be very careful putting all their eggs in the Harry Potter basket. Because they're already, there's talk, rumours of reboots in the future, you know, of the films getting done again, the books getting done again. I don't think they've dated very well, the films. Whereas Jaws is a 40-year-old classic, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, if someone said to you, you know, we want to take out, I don't know, Pirates of the Caribbean and put Hunger Games in there, it's a similar kind of thing, isn't it? They're taking out a long-standing, you know, attraction and throwing something that, you know, may or may not have legs for much longer.
Yeah.
I do worry about Nintendo. I do worry about the Nintendo thing as well. If they're going to try and sell this new park on Nintendo, I don't know where that's going to go.
Well, I don't think it can anchor it. I think you might be able to add, you can add it to it. But as you say, if they just put the whole park around Nintendo, I think they got a problem.
But Nintendo is 10 times bigger in America than it ever was in Great Britain.
Yeah.
They sold a lot more consoles over there. I read a brilliant book about the Nintendo and how it got a foothold in America. I mean, Nintendo's a 100-odd-year-old company. It's been around for a long time, but when they got into the console market in America, they just blew it out the water. So it is a part of a lot of American youth growing up.
Mm.
I just hope they don't do a half-baked kiddie land with a few big characters who let's all go and bounce on a mushroom. That'll be crap.
You can guarantee there's going to be a Mario Kart ride, isn't there?
Yeah, but it's got to be done as a go-kart, and it's got to be.
It'd be more screens, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, but that's what I don't want. I want it to be the same as what in Magic Kingdom, but Mario Kart.
An animatronic Mario.
Yeah, that will be. Yeah, but again, what else? What else could they do? What other?
Well, the new Harry Potter franchise, the Mythical Beast thing, that's rumoured.
Yeah, that's the rumour, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's been done to keep it in our consciousness. He doesn't need to write another Harry Potter book or another book in that universe. It just wasn't needed, but...
I also read that because the Gollum, not Gollum, the Martin Freeman, what's his name? What was the film called?
The Hobbit.
Bilbo Baggins. The Hobbit. Because those films didn't do so well, that Universal's dropped their idea to bring that to the theme parks.
Well, then Disney should snap it up and stick it in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, just demolish all the Avatar stuff they've half built. And...
Yeah.
Well,
turn them into normal mountains. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I haven't got a problem with Avatar. I really haven't. I think the film visually is a piece of art. Story wise, it's weak as piss, but it's a groundbreaking film of its time. And if they're taking the concept of that film and putting it into real world, I haven't got a problem with that.
I can't wait to see Animal Kingdom at night.
That's
there.
But these Hobbit books are 60, 70 years old. They've stood the test of time. They're not going anywhere. The films will come and go. They'll get rebooted again. It's irrelevant. Someone snap it up while they can and put a land in, and it'll be brilliant. Imagine a Hobbit land, right, where everything... When you go into the Shire and you go into Bilbo Baggins' house, but it's big, so you're the size of a hobbit. It's all done in perspective.
That'd be interesting.
Do you know what I mean? So you go in as a hobbit.
Mm.
I think it'd be phenomenal.
Well, the other franchise that's been rumoured is because Universal keep updating their trademarks and copyrights and things, is this thing to do with Secret Life of Pets? Do you know much about that? I don't think it's been released, is it? Yeah. I don't think it's been released.
No, I haven't seen any trailers or anything.
No. They keep talking about it for Hollywood as well, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about it as though it's the next big thing, but, I mean, none of us have heard anything about it.
Is it based on a toy?
I don't know.
I've got a feeling it's like something like Polly Pocket or something like that.
Oh, right.
I just thought it was talking animals again.
Isn't that what everybody does?
Yeah. Well, look at Zootopia or Zootropolis, whatever it's called, wherever you are. It's done $800 million. And up to now, and that film... Who's seen any sort of adverts for that? I never.
No.
I didn't hear any Disney podcast talking about it. No. We certainly didn't talk about it.
No.
So, The Secret Life of Pets. Yeah, we're going tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. And then our last topic this evening is Skull Island, because that is opening this summer. Do you think it will open before or after Rivers of Light? What's your bet?
I think before.
Really?
Yeah. It's all running. It's more or less done, isn't it?
yeah, it's all the vehicles are going round at least, aren't they?
Yeah. I think they're just doing. It looks like they're just doing some touch-up work to it.
I think they've got a time scale as well. They're releasing this interactive story to draw you in. And I think they've started down a path that they've got to see to the end before they can open the ride, basically, now.
So they'll soft open that then pretty soon. And Rivers of Light will still keep rumbling on. So. Although they'll probably blame Stags for that as well. I would have thought.
It's still another month away now, isn't it, until we even get an announcement of when it's going to open.
I wonder what's taking so long.
It sounds like something went wrong with it.
Someone shot a lion.
It's
probably too noisy.
Yeah.
Probably Stags got involved and then it went over budget and over program. But I can't believe they sacked him. Can you believe that?
I didn't even know who he was, to be honest. He was just some blade.
It's a strange choice and a strange choice of timing.
Put it this way, he's not going to be walking away empty-handed, is he?
No.
So he couldn't really give a shit. And he'll be taken back on as some sort of consultant and probably paid 3 times as much. So
yeah, they announced he's staying on as a consultant.
Oh, after there you go.
Until his contract ends, by the sound of it.
Yeah.
So he won't just get his P45 and his 2 months.
He'll have a shitload of shares for for Disney. You know, he doesn't care.
No, it happened with Jay Rasulo, didn't it? When they got rid of him last year, he stayed on as a consultant until his contract ended.
So do you think Kathleen Kennedy will get it?
I hope it's either her or Lasseter, but I get the feeling they're going to go outside.
I think it'll be Lasseter.
But Lasseter is, of an age now where, does he want the grief?
The thing is, he seems to be running the company anyway.
Yeah, probably.
He's in charge of every single animated film. He basically was in charge of California Adventure when it got rebuilt.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd give it to him. He seems to be smacked off his head on meds anyway, so he's constantly happy.
It's all the wine he makes. He drinks it all, I reckon.
Yeah, he's either blitzed or something because
it must be to wear those shirts.
Yeah, no one's that happy. He's literally permanently smiling. So good on him. Get stuck in.
Good old lassie.
But Raina Kong, what do people think?
There better be an animatronic monkey in there. That's all I'm saying.
There better be. That burps banana breath.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I won't be happy.
Have you seen the vehicles? They're taking 72 people at a time.
Blimey, big.
They're huge.
Yeah, and so are Americans. So,
cut it down to 36 people then.
36 people, yeah.
But how long is it going to take to load the way they are with health and safety and pull on your strap? And they're going to need an army of people to process every vehicle.
So they must be bigger than the Animal Kingdom safari trucks.
Oh, they're twice as big.
Yeah, I think the Animal Kingdom safari trucks are 36 people.
So they load quite quickly, don't they? I can't remember. I haven't been on it for a while.
Well, they don't have any restraints, do they? And I don't know if this one does, to be honest. But 72 people is a lot of people to move.
The thing is, I did the tram tour in Hollywood last year, and you get the 360 Kong, and then you get the Fast and Furious bit that comes, I think, after it. And to be honest with you, because they're just screen-based, they were both as boring as anything.
Yeah.
Especially the Fast and the Furious. That was terrible. I mean, that was really bad. It looked amateur.
I haven't done that one yet, but I have done Kong, and I felt it was a bit of a letdown after they'd made such a big fuss about it.
And that's better than Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
They're both 3D, are they? They're all 3D.
Yeah, just 3D. And so both of these are coming soon. Well, as you know, Kong sooner than the other one. But they have promised there will be animatronics in Kong. But, you know, will we see another great big monkey animatronic? I don't know.
Or is it just going to be some random indigenous people?
Yeah.
Or a monkey's arm.
Yeah, that just kind of like the pirate in Pirates of the Caribbean. It'll just swing across in front of you, and that'll be all you see.
Oh,
Disco
I hope
monkey.
they don't let us down.
Disco monkey.
I don't think Universal will let us down, because I don't think they have let us down in the last 5 or 6 years. Even Gringotts, I think, is a phenomenal. I think they made a mistake with Gringotts, but when you look at the technology involved, it's still it's not an A ticket attraction. It's definitely a B. I don't think they've let us down. I don't think they will let us down. I think it's going to be stunning. It's definitely going to be 4-dimensional or 5-dimensional, whatever you want to call it. It's not just going to be 3D screens. I think they have listened.
Yeah, there's no way they can leave it the same as the one in Hollywood. They've got to up their game with that, and I'm sure they will.
And I mean, we were just walking past the building site in October, and it's huge.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was forced perspective or what, but looking over them fences, the boards, it was gigantic.
That monkey outside's ridiculous. The size of that.
Yeah. So.
Did you ever go on the original Kong ride?
I did in '93.
Yeah.
I can't remember I think we did it in 2001. I think it was still there then.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And that was a fantastic ride. It really was.
I did the mini version in Hollywood before it
burnt
down.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, that burnt down, didn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if they've still got... Because when you used to come out of it, you could have your photo taken inside King Kong's fingers.
Yeah. I've got them pictures somewhere.
I wonder if they kept that hand, or if they just ditched it.
No, they should. Well, yeah, I think they should do. When you're going on Halloween Horror Nights and you're going around the back of everywhere, going into other places you don't generally see, you do see a lot of mothballed stuff, like wrapped up in cellophane and stuff, don't you? In like open warehouses and stuff.
Well, do you remember Halloween Horror Nights 20? The theme for that year, when it was the anniversary year?
No.
Well, they had a big warehouse. It was like the theme, and in the warehouse they had all this stuff. Anyway, a lot of people don't realise they actually have a warehouse. It's down near the airport, so they actually do have a huge, like football stadium size warehouse, just full of Universal stuff. So, they could probably have kept it in there.
It'll still be in there. Yeah, it'll be there, and they should bring it out.
Mm.
It's always nice to have that little bit of history, isn't it? Even with a new ride.
Yeah, well, like Gringotts, they put all the Jaws references in the shops and things, didn't they? And then Doc Brown gives the deeds to Krusty, isn't it, in the Simpsons ride? Right.
Yeah, I think. Go on.
No, go on. I was going to wrap up, but go on.
No, it's just I think they should remember their history because I do believe the history is profitable to them. There's a lot of nostalgia out there, and nostalgia sells T-shirts and shop mugs and fridge magnets and all that. I think there's a market, and they're missing the trick. So.
Universal was a multi-million-dollar enterprise when Walt and his brother were trying to sell sketches on the side of the street. So they've been going for years and years. So got a huge back
I think I do. Andy forgot about it.
Yeah,
to an extent because they keep buying in other people's stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Right, okay. Well, we'll wrap it up there. Nothing more to say, is there, chaps?
Don't think so.
No, not unless you want to say anything, Chris, for later on in the year or anything.
Oh, what, like buy my new book?
Buy your new book, yeah.
Yeah, buy my new book when it comes out. I don't know when it's going to come out. Publisher hasn't told me yet, but I would imagine hopefully before Halloween. He's asked me to start working on another new book for another topic that is related to Halloween Horror Nights. So hopefully there might be 2 new books for you to have a look at.
And might we be doing anything? This is very much a beta episode. This is Universal After Dark, and we'd like listener feedback. You know, if you think it's something we should continue with, we're looking at a monthly episode within our fortnightly Disney episodes. And we're going to be doing a monthly Halloween Horror Nights After Dark.
Well, yeah, if the people want it, we will do it. If you think it's a pile of crap, then we will just shut up and go back to Disney.
We do have literally the Prince of Darkness sitting with us tonight, and we would be foolish not to embrace him and pick his brains, because you must know some stuff. You must have seen some shit, man.
I tell you, I saw some shit, and there's a lot of stuff I can't put in that book. So, you know, you give me enough beers, and I'll tell you the good stuff.
There you go. So later on in the year, when it starts to get winter, summer out the way, look out for Halloween Horror Nights After Dark. And hopefully we're going to have Universal After Dark next month.
And don't forget, we're going to do Busch Gardens After Dark and SeaWorld After Dark.
Yeah. Where you get to harpoon your own killer whale.
The Dollywood After Dark might be stretching it somewhat, though.
Oh, Knott's Berry Farm.
Thorpe Park.
Alton Towers After Dark.
Oh, Gulliver's Kingdom.
I wouldn't want to go there during the day, let alone after dark.
What's almost coming in front of our very eyes is a network, an After Dark network. Trademark.
Well,
who knows what the future may bring.
Right, I'm going to wrap it up on that note. Thank you, dear listener, for listening once again. We hope you enjoyed listening to us ramble on about Universal. And hopefully, if you like it, let us know, and we will see you next month. If not, we'll see you next week. But we'll see you next week anyway. So it's good night from me.
It's good night from him.
And it's good night from me.
This podcast is part of the After Dark Podcast Network.